Hey, sunshines. So we're talking about interpreting slope and y-intercept. Now, interpreting means we're talking about words, uh not really about numbers. So you're explaining what does the slope represent in this situation? We don't need to know what the slope is. We just need to know what it represents. Slope is the rise over the run. So rise is changing in y, and your run is your x. So your y is the cost and your x is the miles. So it's cost over miles. So in a sentence, so it's the change in cost per mile. Or it could be, you could call it the increase in cost per mile because this one specifically is an increase. So the y-intercept mathematically is the point where where your line crosses the y-axis. So it's your cost when your x equals 0, when your miles equals 0. So it's the cost at 0 miles, or you could call it the starting cost. And then identify the independent and dependent variables means independent is the thing that's just happening, and then dependent is the thing that's based on it. So independent is what you're starting with. So you're starting with how many miles did you go is how you determine the cost of renting the car. So miles is your independent variable. X is always going to be your independent variable. So independent is your miles driven, and then your cost is based on how many miles you drove. So that's your dependent. So your dependent is the cost. So it's a good idea to label it directly onto the graph, although obviously this worksheet is a little bit cluttered, so have it listed here as well. And that is interpreting your slope and your y-intercept.